Welcome back to another Pokemon Sleeper Sunday, where once a month we go through a ton of raw cards, graded cards, and sealed products that I think are being completely slept on. And we are going to do a giveaway today. All you got to do is make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, hit that like, then you have to answer the question of the day. If Pokemon did not exist, what TCG would you guys collect? This is what we're giving away today, a beautiful sealed Mimikyu Black Star promo. And the winner from last Sunday's giveaway is at Robert Kelly 2019. Shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram. I'll get those cards sent out to you. And we do have to give a quick thanks to our video sponsor, and that is COLLECTR. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app even compares. I've tried every single one of them. Their website also works super good, and they're always trying to improve by adding new cards, boxes, and features. So let us know down below if there's anything you want them to fix or add or anything like that. They also do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby, so make sure you follow them on all their social medias and even join up for their pro membership, which gets you a ton more perks in the actual app, and the giveaways get even crazier. I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars worth of giveaways. So I'll have all the links in the description. Check them out. And if you guys want to try out PSA for your first time, click the link, use code BEARD25, you get $25 off your first submission, which you'll definitely need it because it is expensive to grade now. And same thing with tag. If you want to grade for your first time, you can click the link, use the code BEARD102, and you'll get 10% off your first submission. But all right, let's get into it. We are starting off with the Prismatic Evolution stamp cards. These cards are still very affordable, but they are finally starting to go up in price. So it looks like Glaceon is the cheapest at $6. It was at like $4. Jolteon's at $6, Leafeon's at $7, Flareon's at $7, Vaporeon's at $7. We got Espeon at $8. Got the Eevee at $9, Sylveon at $9, and Umbreon at $25. It's not very often where we get all the evolutions as the same type of card. Most of the time we get a couple here, and they kind of spread them out, and they're not all the same right from the same thing. And there's also a really nice Prismatic Evolutions Lugia you might as well pick up also, just so you got the whole little lot. There's also Lucario and Tyranitar, but that Lugia is sick. Yeah, and I love how this comes in the surprise box, and it's Prismatic Evolutions. Can't really go wrong. Next, the box toppers. I still am kind of shocked that these have not gone crazy yet. Ends Reshiram, Journey to the Other box topper, was at 17, now it's at 21, and we've had a few sales at 23, 24, and 25, but this card is super sick. And we also have the Bulbasaur from Mega Evolution. This is another pretty affordable one. Was $23 3 months ago, and now it's $24, so not too bad. And like I said, you know, these are like the only two sets where we're actually getting box toppers, so it's not like we're getting box toppers every set or every other set even. These are actually pretty rare if you think about it. Next, the Mega Evolution 30th Anniversary promo. So we just got the new ones, finally. So we got Scorbunny here, 13, Sobble, 12. Definitely let them drop in price. I have a feeling they'll be just as expensive as these. You know, Chimchar here at 7, Litten at 7, and Rowlet at 7, Popplio at 6. Not a bad price, especially if we do not get reprints of this. You know, I could see all these, you know, not as popular starter Pokemon being at least $10, $15 because the cards are just so cool. Next, the regular Fennekin. It's the Mega Evolution promo. So it's at $8. Right now it's selling for about $4.50. Starter Pokemon. Black Star promo, can't go wrong. And here's the Pokemon Center version. It was at $64, now it's about $60. We got a couple sales at like $55. Not a bad price in my opinion, especially when you compare them to the rest of the Pokemon Center promos. Next, we have the Riolu, which they don't have a picture for some reason on TCG Player, but this is the Pokemon Center promo. The regular promo is right around $10. Still not too bad. I think Mega Evolution is a crazy set, and having Riolu, you know, the prior evolution of Lucario, is just awesome. Was at 55, now it's at 69. I could see it being over $100 pretty soon. Next, we have the Eevee Pokemon Center promo. Was at 110, now it's about 105. So remember, we are in the summer. We get a little summer slump every time. So if you're looking at something, just, you know, keep watching it over the next few weeks, and it'll probably drop in price, at least just a little bit, depending on what it is, of course. But I mean, if you compare this to the Charmander from Obsidian Flames or the Snorlax, I mean, this set is so much better than Obsidian Flames, and I feel like it's almost as cute as the actual Charmander card. The card is pretty adorable, and I love how there's a Pikachu, you know, plushie right there next to Eevee. So, I mean, I could easily see this card being $150, you know, $200 card, you know, right up there with the Snorlax and the Charmander. Next, the Lucario V-Star. This is the Crown Zenith promo. This did get up to $18. Now it's on for around $14. Not too bad. Pretty cool card. Still wish we would have got something different, but I enjoy it. Next, we have the regular Snorlax promo. This was at $24. Now it's about $22. It's been slowly going down in price, but still, in my opinion, not too bad of a price, especially if you compare it to, like, let's say the Charmander regular promo from Obsidian Flames, which is like 3 times the price of this. And this is from a way better set, 151. And the ETB is pretty expensive, so I think this thing should be, $30, $40 probably, and I think it will get there eventually. All right, getting into some regular illustration rares, we have the Tauros from Chaos Rising. Such a clean card, and it's $5. Next, the Steelix from Mega Evolution. I like this Steelix so much more than the other Steelix we got, which is like 4 times the price or 5 times the price of this card. So I think this one is a solid pickup at about $7.50. Next, so as you guys know, Black Bolt and White Flare, I mean, the sets are just so big. It's, really tough to actually pull these cards. So I really feel like the Snivy here, the Servine, and the Superior line is all pretty undervalued. Snivy's kind of expensive at $32. The Servine is $16. And the SIR Superior of a starter Pokemon is $57. So I feel like for that whole trio, around $100, not too bad of a pickup. Especially too, I mean, we got Oshawott here at $90 from White Flare. Definitely a lot more popular Pokemon too. But then him, the Duat Middle Evolution is $21. And the Samurott, which it being an illustration rare is actually probably better because it's going to be so much tougher to grade. It's a $50 card for a starter Pokemon. Again, I know they're not the most popular, but super, super sick. And to get the whole trio like that is just crazy. Obviously, Oshawott at $93 is expensive. I would probably hold off on that. I just wanted to show the price difference between, some starter Pokemon. And then we also have the Tepig from White Flare. This is about a $30 card. And we have the Pignite, which gets no love, $11. And we have the Embar, which is also an illustration rare. So it's going to be much tougher to grade than like the actual Superior SIR EX, which is just going to help the value. But yeah, Embar is about a $45 card. I think it's just dirt cheap. Especially, like I said, with how big the set actually is and how hard it is to pull these cards. Next, we have the Mewtwo V from Pokemon Go. I mean, I think this card is almost better than the Destined Rivals Mewtwo and the Ascended Heroes Mewtwo, in my opinion. I feel like there's no reason it should be a $72 card. I swear, if we got this card in a new set now, I think it'd still be like a $200, $300, $400 card. I think it's just because it's from Pokemon Go. But it got up to about $68, kind of leveled out. Now selling for about $65. Not too bad of a price, especially if you cannot afford the Destined Rivals Mewtwo or Ascended Mewtwo. I think this thing is just as good. The only thing I would maybe change is maybe have it at night and have all the buildings lit up. But otherwise, I think the card is just so undervalued. And going a little bit older, we have the Gardevoir EX Secret Rare. This is from Steam Siege. I actually like this Gardevoir more than pretty much all of our other Gardevoirs we've gotten. This is at 75, got up to 103, down to 82, and now last sold 93, 110, 140, 105. So starting to go back up in price. And same thing with the Alakazam EX from XY Fates Collide. This card blows my mind that it's this cheap, especially having Lugia and Umbreon in the background. Like, it's just insane. Was at $90, got up to 130, dropped down to 112, back up to 130. And we got a couple high sales. We got one at 160, 140, 155, another one at 160, a couple at 130. Got a PSA 8 at 250. So it's definitely not easy finding these cards clean, but I feel like this should be like a $300 card, to be honest. And we have the two Mewtwo's, number 163 and 164. I like 163 better because I feel like the Pokemon in the background are much more popular, but actually I like the pose better for 164. So I kind of go back and forth. This card, let's go a year ago, was at $148, got up to $215, dropped down to $150. Now last sold, we got one at $220, $245 for a CGC 9. Another one at $200 with a picture, $177, $219, $299, $150 with a picture. So prices are kind of all over the place for these cards. And it's going to be the same exact thing for number 164. Last sold $240, $203, $160, $130. This is why I actually don't really like to use TCG Player looking up like mid-era or like older cards, because the prices are just all over the place. And condition-wise, you don't have a clue what you are getting, especially if there's no picture. I strongly recommend only buying modern on TCG Player if you're going to. Anything mid-era or older, you got to have pictures. These cards are not easy to find clean, and they almost always come like super off-centered. So you definitely need some pics. All right, getting to some graded cards. I threw this one in here just because I like, Ladybug and Ladian. This is from Stellar Crown. Pop of only 715 in a 10, 830 in a 9. And it is a $60 card, $66. Not too bad. Next, we have the Skarmory from Surging Sparks. Now, everything from Surging Sparks is actually pretty difficult to grade. This has a pop of 2,370 in a 10, 4,600 in a 9. This is at $80, and I told multiple people to buy this card at that price. But it's still only sitting at about $150 to $175. Not too bad to get probably the best Skarmory card ever, from a very solid set, Surging Sparks. Plus, like I said, it's somewhat difficult to grade. Next, the Phoebus, same exact thing. Pop of 1,957 in a 10, 2,900 in a 9. But this one at least goes with the Milotic. So a lot of people, if they have the Milotic, they're probably going to want this card also. And this was also at $80. But now it sells for about $130. So still not too bad. We even got a last sale here at $105. So you can definitely find good deals for these cards. Next, the Pinsir. This is from Twilight Masquerade. So not super difficult to grade. There's 1,910s, 1,909s. But I mean, probably one of the coolest, most unique Pinsir cards we've ever gotten. And you can pick it up for around $125. Next, we have the Infernape, also from Twilight Masquerade. So again, not super difficult to grade. 3,310s, 3,709s. Got up to $210, dropped down to $115. Now sitting around $150. Got one at $165. Very cool, very unique illustration rare. I feel like we really don't have a ton of illustration rares like it. The only one, in my opinion, that even reminds me of it is this Blaziken, which just isn't as closely zoomed up. But again, this Blaziken's sick. From Destined Rivals, the illustration rares are pretty difficult to grade. 2010s, 4009s. I'd say Blaziken's definitely one of the more popular starter Pokemon if you took all of the starter Pokemon, just because it is, one of the older ones. But it was at $110, definitely going up, but last sold $190, and we got a bunch of sales at $200. Like I said, it's one of the most popular starters. It's from Destined Rivals, and it's actually difficult to grade, and there's not a ton of 10s. So, not a bad pickup. And the Articuno, so I've got mine at like $175, I want to say, but there's only 7,700 10s and 14,489 9s and 3,400 8s. And I feel like people kind of forget about Journey Together, but this card is pretty difficult to grade. And right now, the PSA 10 is selling for around $300, so the most expensive PSA card I put on the list. But this is definitely the best Articuno we've ever gotten. And if you think about it, we really do not have a pure illustration rare of Moltres or Zapdos. So I think this card is kind of special. I am a little biased because I love the ice and like snow stuff. Those scenes are just beautiful to me. But that's because I'm from Minnesota. But yeah, I feel like for $300, I know it's a little expensive, but I could easily see this thing being $400 or $500 just because it is Articuno. It's difficult to grade, and it's absolutely beautiful. All right, then we got a few sealed products here. The Destined Rivals Booster Bundle. This thing is cheaper than like Black Bolt. I know it's still pretty expensive, and we could easily get reprints, but tons of sales at $80 up to like $85 and $90. But like I said, it's actually one of the cheaper booster bundles in the market, which is kind of crazy. And we have the Chaos Rising Pokemon Center ETB. Was at $500. Kind of got down to $215 and still slowly falling. Last sold all right around $179. I could maybe see dropping another $10 or $15, and then in my opinion, it's going to shoot right back up to $215 or $220. I have a feeling that's where this ETB is going to sit at. So I actually missed the Pokemon Center drop for these. I got the booster box, but I actually missed the Pokemon Center ETBs. So I'm going to have to pick up a few of these. So I'm going to probably pay right around $160 is what I'm hoping. Next, the Jolteon VMAX Premium Collection also has the Flareon and the Vaporeon. They're finally starting to go up in price. This is at $275 for a while. Just sat there. But now it's selling for a little over $300. We got sales at $325, $315, and $312. I have a feeling this will probably be the last time you guys can pick these up for a somewhat decent price. I think these are some of the best premium collection boxes we've ever gotten. The only thing that hurts them is that it's 6 packs. I wish it was 8 or 10, obviously. But you're getting Evolving Skies in there. You're getting 2 alternate arts of an evolution, and you're even getting a jumbo alternate art, which we do not have very many of. So I think the box is very special and one of the best boxes for display. Next, we have the Silver Tempest booster box. I still feel like Sword and Shield is pretty undervalued. Same with a lot of the regular ETBs, especially comparing it to anything Scarlet and Violet or Mega Evolution. Most last sold here around 540. And you also have to think too, Silver Tempest has a trainer gallery, which has a Rayquaza in it. And that's the most expensive trainer gallery card right now. So, I mean, this set is very solid. Even though I do feel like it has one of the weaker trainer galleries, it has, the most expensive trainer gallery card now. And last on the list, we have Brilliant Stars. So this booster box was at 587. Now last sold 648, 639. Bunch at 640. But I genuinely feel like this set should be just as expensive as Lost Origin. And honestly, right up there with Fusion Strike too. I actually think the Charizard is still super underrated. I actually like the Charizard way more than the Gengar VMAX, which is probably a hot take. But I know like Fusion Strike has the Espeon, and they have the Muse. But you got to think, it doesn't have a trainer gallery. This set has so many evolutions in it, has Mimikyu in it. I mean, there's just so many popular Pokemon in the trainer gallery. It's just crazy. And that's why I actually feel like even Lost Origin could almost be better than Fusion Strike, just because, it has so many Pikachus in there. Like, it's a crazy set when you actually combine the regular set with the trainer gallery. So I just feel like at this price, it's not too bad of a pickup. But remember, we got this little summer slump coming. So if something is starting to drop in price, just keep watching it, be patient and wait. And as soon as you see it kind of level out, or you see a few weird sales or anything like that, I'd probably pull the trigger and buy the box, get that secured. Because remember, we have to buy in these dips with this crazy market. When everything is going up in price and we got a few things going down, might be a good idea to look at those few things that are going down. But all right, that was this month's Pokemon Sleeper Sunday. If you guys like this content and want to stay ahead of the market, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. And also, if you guys want to check out my Market Monday and my following Friday a few hours early before I even post it on YouTube, download the Fanatics Collect app. It's completely free, and you guys can watch it there, and I'll be live premiering it, so I'll be in the chat and everything live. It's going to be a ton of fun, so definitely check that out. And of course, if you guys want to support more, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube membership, all that, you guys know what to do. You guys are the absolute best. All right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last following Friday where we actually had some stuff going down in price, click the video above. Otherwise, I have an entire playlist full of all my other vending videos if you guys want to check those out. But all right, we'll see you next time.